into it.
Okay, so for starters, we're just gonna start with. I mean, the topic is kind of like growing up gay, and I think from like, why am I reading so hard?
Like, I think from, like, we're gay.
We're gay. I think I'm homosexual. We're gay.
Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't know until just now. I think I like.
You like schlongs?
Schlongen. Okay, so kind of like growing up gay, with you being a homo and me being a homo,
We do be homos.
we be homos. So like, just going down these little lists, like for starters, like how old were you like when you first knew?
Oh boy. Well, so like when I was a kid, I kind of thought I was like broken. Like I didn't get the kind of thing that most girls got in puberty where I liked guys, or I didn't even like girls in that matter. I just thought that like puberty was kind of like late for me and I was just gonna get there one day. But then I found myself kind of like forcing crushes on guys on myself because that's what other girls my age were doing, until I realized, I think when I was about like 14, I started to kind of learn about like, oh, there's gay people, that's like a thing. Especially because I knew that they're like gay men was a thing, because I had heard that used in like a slur before, but like lesbians, like women, that was a whole different story. So I think when I was like 14, I started to kind of discover that, and then maybe about like 15, I was like, okay, I'm gay. Not like full, like I didn't really define it, but I knew that I liked women.
Yeah, and I mean, for me personally, I kind of went through a whole little situation of like, I was into women, but it wasn't the same way that other boys were into women. To me, I found women more so just attractive enough to be like, oh my god, I want to be that girl's friend. Like, she looks cool or whatever. Let me try to just get to know her.
Yeah.
But it was never any matter of being like, let's be sexual, or oh my god, I want to date her, or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then it kind of fell into, I guess, around like junior high-ish. I kind of got to the point to like, okay, I'm not into girls. I know that I'm not into girls, but my parents, they wouldn't accept me if, you know, I was like, hey, mom, dad, I like boys or whatever. I knew that they wouldn't, so I kind of forced myself to be thrown in situations of, okay, let's date a girl. Let's do things with girls. And I guess, like, growing up, it kind of played a whole little factor of kind of like how you said, I'm broken.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of played into the whole depression and then anxiety of like, oh my god, my parents are going to find out.
We love the depression and anxiety.
Baby, it was there.
It's always there.
Well, I mean, and then you personally know me from the whole aspect of knowing me for years and being like best friends and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, you know, I'm trying to throw myself into the whole, maybe not now, but let's get therapy. Let's try to take the next little step. And it was kind of like, whenever I did say it to my parents, it was like, just go to God. Just pray it away. Like, depression's not real. Just pray it away. Let God take it from you, et cetera, et cetera. So it really developed, with me, it kind of developed the whole thing of, I'm alone.
Yeah.
Who do I turn to? And so I guess, like, with that being said, like, what impact did that have on your self-esteem at a young age?
I mean, I feel like, based on what you said before, like, you felt alone. I feel like almost every gay person can relate to that. Like, I feel alone. I didn't really have anyone in my family that was gay that I knew of. And like, as far as any gay people I knew like 2. Yeah. And they weren't like close to me. So I did feel alone. But I feel like I learned more about the gay community like through the internet, in actually a really positive way. I ended up making a lot of like online friends who were going through the same thing that I was going through. And that helped me a lot. That helped me a lot with the depression and the anxiety. But I mean, still at the end of the day, it was like, I'm alone. People in my immediate real life aren't going through this, and they're not going to understand. And so, like, as I was younger, and even like today.
Well, you're not from like Mississippi or
Mhm.
anything, and living up north, I mean, I want to say Mississippi is like one of the worst places you could be just gay. I mean, I know there's worse out there, but as far as just
The South is
The South.
sucky.
how did you feel like whenever you lived in Oregon and New York, and et cetera?
I think I was just too young. I mean, I was just too young to really know about that. I mean, like, and growing up, my parents were like, well, Oregon, there's a bunch of hippies up there and stuff.
Yeah.
So it probably is more accepting up there, but then there's just like, there's different things you have to deal with. Like down here, we have the values of like good Christian family values, which can be hard when you are gay, and like who you are goes against those values. But then it's also a good thing because we do have those values of like loving someone for who they are no matter what. And then like up north, it's we kind of do. We're good, like what, like Southern hospitality.
Okay, I will.
Southern hospitality, like we might like freaking hate you behind your back,
I mean,
but we're gonna give you Southern hospitality. But like up north, it's like if someone doesn't like you, you're gonna know they don't like you, and so it's just different. Like I don't
Yeah.
feel like it's comparable.
I mean, like I was saying earlier with what I was talking about, it did affect my self-esteem because it was like, I'm a boy.
Mm.
And I mean, being in the South, it's like, you know, you're a boy, you have to be a man, be macho,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm little.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, I'm not prissy, but
Mm-mm.
I don't like those type of things that a man would typically be into.
Yeah.
So like growing up, it kind of was like what we talked about earlier, that I know I'm a boy, but I don't feel as if I'm a boy. Never to the point of being like, you know, as far as like with transgenders and whatnot, being as if, like I'm a girl or whatever. It was never really like that for me, but it was kind of like I feel as if I'm letting my parents down.
Yeah.
I feel as if I'm letting like my family down because with me being the only boy that my parents have, it was like,
The only boy and the oldest.
yeah, it was kind of like I have this responsibility on my shoulder and I can't live up to it.
Mm-hmm.
So with me, it was kind of like, you know, it kind of played more into that depression and whatnot. It led to some habits, you know, that I'm not really too proud of, but
It'd be like this.
those happened and, you know, we done came over them or whatever. But
Yeah.
just with me, it impacted my self-esteem because it made me feel as if I'm not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I get that as well because, I mean, I'm an only child.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of the oldest, but I'm also the youngest. I'm the only one. And so it was like, when I came out, you know, my parents are great now, but at first it was a struggle. And, you know, I remember my mom being like, I had this life planned out for you in my head. Like, I wanted you to get married and have kids and all these different things, which I could still have. But it was almost like I felt like I was disappointing my family because they don't have another one of me to pick up where I left off, to have the golden family. Like I was the only one and I was gay and my life was going to be different.
I know that you talked to me about like with your family members saying things about like grandchildren, having children, and how's that made you feel?
I mean, I feel like I could still have kids. Like it's love that. 10 out of 10. We need to rank these as it goes on.
How was that one? 1 or 10? 1 to 10.
Like a 6. It's not that great.
I want to say about a 5. I could do better.
Yeah.
Okay.
A 6 just because I love
See,
you.
now you're hurting my self-esteem. Okay.
We must talk about burps next our next segment.
Period.
I don't know. I feel like I could still have kids, and that's, you know, I mean, it's going to be something that's like harder for me to do, but the life that they envisioned for me, like getting married and having kids, was still in my plans. Like I still wanted those, I guess, like basic family values. It was just different, and I guess for them, it was just like a whole different picture. It was like, okay, well now everything I've thought about is not even going to happen. But to me, it still was. It was just not with a man.
No, I mean, I get that because, like, with me, even now, I'm still slowly learning how to just be my true self.
And I think everyone is.
And I mean, I've known I'm been gay for the longest now, but just, I'm not afraid of, like, the general public seeing and, you already know I'm not afraid for like friends or whatever to see.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a good bit of family I'm also not afraid of them to see. But as far as just like with my parents and even grandparents and some of my aunts and whatever, it's kind of like they know, but we don't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like how that impacts my self-esteem is because, like, yes, we see this major factor that is you, but we're just going to overlook it because we don't agree with it.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, it's kind of just like, I don't know, I guess it makes me feel like they see less of me because of that. So, it's always as if I have this weight on my shoulder and I'm constantly like, what are they thinking?
Yeah.
And I mean, it plays into the anxiety part because it's like, I have to let me act this way around you all the time. Let me like talk like this around you and just get masculine or whatever. A man. But in reality, I'm like, oh my God, so like.
You don't talk like that low though, like that high.
But you see where I'm coming from though.
Yeah.
Just as far as just being like my genuine self, knowing that they would never accept that.
I mean, I feel like that's part of growing up, even if you're like gay or straight or whatever, just trying to find like who you really are. I mean, I feel like even if you're straight, there's going to be something that you're doing that your family isn't going to approve of.
Yeah.
And I feel like, for me, I had to just look at it as this is different and it might not be what everyone wanted, but there's always going to be something there that isn't going to be the best. It's not going to be what your family thought of.
And I guess what scares me about that is because it's like, this is a major factor of my life. And I plan on getting married one day. And it's not going to be to a woman.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen then? Because I am getting to the age of being like, you got a couple more years to where, you might want to start settling down with someone. Yeah. Are my parents still going to be in my corner when that happens?
And I think that's just something that has to happen whenever you get to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's also like, especially with like the South and with having a family that doesn't have a lot of other gay people in it, and like being gay isn't like a big like 3. It's just getting worse. Ooh. But no, I feel like in the South and when like gay people aren't as popular, I don't want to say popular, but like there's not as many gays around here.
Well, I mean, with that being said, like what you just said about the whole popular thing, I really feel like not just around here, but it's like, especially like being a gay male. To me, I kind of see it as like, I compare it to like a purse. Like, I feel like every girl wants that GBF, that gay best friend.
Yeah, that's so annoying.
And I mean, it's kind of crappy because it's like, this is my life. This is who I am. Why am I your Louis Vuitton bag?
Yeah, straight girls will want a gay best friend, but they will scream and run away from the lesbians because they think they all like them, and that's not how it works. That's just not how it works. But, I don't know, I feel like with gay people being not all over the place in the South, or if they are, they're closeted, you don't hear about it a lot. As, say, you might up north, you might in other countries or something like that. Like, families just don't know what to do with something that's different. And I feel like, it sucks that they ignore you and that they forget that that is a part of you and they don't know how to talk about it, but I think it is just that. They don't know how to talk about it. They don't know how to approach the situation. And maybe they don't even want to offend you, so they just don't talk about it.
Yeah. And
I feel like that's something that can get better. It's just going to take time. I mean, and people who, sometimes family isn't ever going to understand, and that's okay.
So, with that being said, like, how did that affect your social life? More so towards your platonic relationships?
I mean, I think when I was younger, especially when I had friends who were women, I was afraid to tell them that I was gay because, like you said, like people want a gay best friend, but they don't want like a lesbian best friend. Like, I was afraid that my female friends would kind of run away. They'd be like, "Oh, well, I don't want to be friends with you anymore because I'm afraid that you're gonna like me."
You see, I was the exact same way, but the complete opposite.
Yeah, with men. With
men, because it was like, because trust me, I've been through plenty of situations where before guys knew that I was, they were always kind of like, what's up, bro? how you doing, whatever, homie, whatever. I don't even know.
Homes.
You know how the straights talk,
The streets.
but you know
The bros.
the bros. But I mean, once they found out, it was kind of like, oh, he's gonna try something.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, don't flatter yourself because you're really not even gonna try.
Right.
But I mean, it was like, oh my god, he's gonna hit on me. Oh, you know, I can't, like, he's cool or whatever, but like he's gay.
Yeah.
And to me, it made me feel as if, like, I guess I was cursed.
Yeah.
Because, like, looking back, it was kind of like, you know what, we'll cover that later on. We'll cover that
Well,
later
I mean,
on.
in a professional sense as well. Like, you don't even want to really like tell your boss or
Mhm.
like the people that you respect because you're afraid that like their outlook of you is going to change. And
Yeah.
you know, your outlook of them is never going to change because it's been the same. But you're afraid that people are going to think of you differently. And I mean, we want to say that we don't care what people think.
I agree,
but
because
we do.
back when I used to work for the bank,
Mm-hmm.
my boss didn't know at first, and
Yeah.
when he finally did find out, you could tell his outlook on me was completely different. He
Yeah.
went from being like, Mr. Jenkins, etc., or whatever, and then now it's like, oh, I gotta edit that out because I did not want to say Mr. Jenkins. But yeah, like, his outlook on me completely changed because it was like he went from acting like that to a more professional sense to being
Yeah.
like, oh, you know.
Yeah, and I think you like feel very like guarded about who
Yeah.
you tell, and like you're very meticulous about like, you know, you don't want to get hate crime. You don't want to tell people something and then them look at you differently or treat you differently. And you know, you so much you want to be that like proud out person that will tell anyone, but I mean, I feel like that's kind of a journey, and like you still don't feel like you can tell everyone. Like, I mean, I feel like I tell more people now today than I did say like 2 years ago, but it's still kind of hard. You don't want to just like openly say something to someone you don't know that well because you don't know how they're going to react.
Yeah.
But then you also feel like you're lying to someone if you get close and then you suddenly tell them.
Yeah.
So it's complicated.
And I mean, for me, I mean, of course now, like I told you earlier, I've accepted who I am. This is me, whatever, but it has also impacted the way, like, I approach a male relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because, especially, like, because when it comes down to gay men and you try to befriend them, it's like, oh, like, you wanna you want to do something, you want to have that type of relationship, and it's not like that.
Yeah, I don't really personally have any like lesbian friends. I have a few like bi friends. I don't have any friends that are just straight up lesbian because of that.
I mean, I really think as far as like gay friends, I only have maybe like close, you know, Brandon Earl.
Yeah.
About it.
Yeah.
Dawson. I mean, that's my dog. I can't lie. I can choke him sometimes, but that's my dog.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
I feel like not like Brett and Earl, it's safe because they're in a relationship. But with like other single gays, you're afraid that something might turn romantic, and like
Not
it
just
might not be
romantic.
mutual.
yeah, I agree. And not even just that. I mean, I've found myself like befriending other gays, and then it's like, oh, like, I know that we're friends or whatever, but like,
Yeah.
you want to do something.
Yeah,
And then it just becomes awkward.
yeah, I feel like there's been a few friends in my life that like I was close to, and it got a little romantic, and then it was like it's just awkward now.
Yeah. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I have some nice friends sometimes.
You're a
But
nice friend. You don't even know what to say to that, do
I
you?
went blank.
No idea.
No, I got scared.
I don't get it back.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay,
You
babe.
have some nice friends.
Hi, I'm Jerry. You made my brain say bleh.
We're off track now.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we talked about the platonic. Let's talk about romance.
how's it impacted you in a romantic sense?
Oh boy. Romantic sense in the South and in like small town areas that we're at, there's not a lot of gay people.
It's not.
And like like there is a decent amount of gay people. Like there actually is a lot. But they're closeted and you don't know that they're gay.
Oh my god, and I can't even tell you how big of a struggle it is being a male though. Because every male around here, either they're like, oh my god. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But that is not my type.
Yeah, if you're not attracted to that, it's hard to find the manlier.
Like, and I mean, like I was saying before, I'm not opposed to someone, because I applaud people that are extremely flamboyant, that ever put themselves out there and not care about being judged, because I personally can't always do that.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I'm starting to realize that I am becoming more comfortable in myself. But being here in the South, it's kind of like, or just gay in general.
Yeah.
You kind of find yourself being like, oh, you know, you look nice or whatever. But going back to what I said with the platonic relationship, typically the gay male portion of the community, it's over-sexualized to the utmost. It's like every time you turn around, oh my god, yes, I want something romantic, but never mind. I just want to have sex.
Especially because the best way to find, I feel like, other gay people is through like the internet and like dating apps.
Yeah.
Because you just like for men, I mean, you like, okay, for gay men, you see the very flamboyant and feminine gay men, and you just know they're gay. But like the more masculine men, you don't know.
And with those, I mean, especially the ones here, or you know, I'm just gonna say in general.
I mean, really in general, yeah.
In general, they typically fall into a bubble of, I'm in the closet. I have not fully come to terms with my sexuality.
And that's why it's so hard to know, like, okay, are you gay? Are you not gay?
And with being someone that's like, okay, I want something serious. I don't want to just, you know, I don't want to have that body count keep going up. But, like, I want something serious with you. And it's kind of like, they don't want to do that because they have not come to terms with themselves.
Yeah, and like with women, you like lesbians, you obviously know the kind of more masculine women because they have the shorter hair, they just have the characteristics, and you're like, okay, that's probably definitely a lesbian. But like the more femme women, it's hard to know because they're either in the closet or maybe they're not even in the closet, but they just look feminine. There's no like obvious things to be like, okay, are you gay? Are you not? And then so the best way to kind of meet people is through dating apps, and a lot of dating apps are basically just hookups.
Yeah.
You know, people just want hookups, or they really just want to like talk to somement for like.
I can't tell you how many like I don't have Grindr anymore, but when I did, it was just always dick pic, dick pic, dick pic, dick pic. Want to see my booty hole? Like it was just all the time, and I'm just like, I just want to talk. Can we like talk?
And I feel like I went on like so many dates with people.
Yeah.
And like even like the men that I went on dates with, like you go on a date with somebody or you message somebody for a few weeks and then you just never hear from them again. Because I mean, it doesn't mean that you didn't have a good time with each other, you just didn't vibe. And so I feel like you go through a lot of people, and if you don't meet that connection and like automatically they're gone.
I'm not trying to put my business out there like with that, but being a bottom and not really fitting into that bottom mold.
That's the problem too, that I feel like, you know, straight people don't really have the problem of like really openly talking about sexual preferences.
Yeah.
And like it's worse for gay men, but even for gay women, it's like, okay, like which side do you prefer? Because we're not going to be compatible if we're not compatible sexually.
Yeah. And I mean, that's how it is with us, because you have to go through the whole thing of, hey, first of all, I'm into you, are you into me? Good, check.
Yeah.
Do our personalities vibe? Check. Then you gotta fall into the, are you top or are you bottom? If those don't, everything else can be great.
Are
but
you top? Are you bottom? Are you a verse? And like with women, it's like, are you a sub? Are you a dom? Some people use top or bottom. Are you a switch? And like, you know.
I mean, there's so many complications that just come into it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like for me, it was kind of like, I'm not super masculine, but then I'm not super feminine.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of there. In between.
I feel like I fall in the middle too.
Oh, that was deep. It wasn't really good.
I don't even know how to rate that.
Okay.
The Force was a.
Okay, continue.
The Force.
Continue.
The Force was a 2.
That was chaotic, but okay.
Chaos. The chaos is part of it.
Yeah. Period. Oh, I was talking about that. Yeah. Hold up.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do this forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So like as I was saying, I don't fit into that mold.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes down to me and guys, it's kind of like, I mean, being a bottom, you know, you have a top, and then that top is typically, most of the time, but especially the tops around here, they're very
masculine.
yes, especially the ones like I'm into.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, you know, let me dominate you, and it typically scares them.
And I feel like you run into the problem where you are masculine enough that the really feminine guys are attracted to you, and that's not at all who you're attracted to.
Yeah, because like I've had plenty of guys that are just extremely feminine, and I mean, I don't have a problem with their life and the way that they live.
It's just not
it's
for
just
you.
not for me.
Yeah.
I'm not attracted as far as romantically towards them that way.
Yeah.
And because I mean, to me, it's kind of like those guys are typically bottoms.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bottom.
It's not
2
gonna work.
bottoms don't make a top. I mean, it did one time.
It
or
doesn't
2 times.
usually.
3 times.
3 times.
It's 2 or 3. How many times have I topped?
2. Well, I feel like you've done it 3, but 2 of them were bottoms. And the other guy wasn't.
Oh yeah, that one. That was in a car.
In a car?
It was in a car. I topped him in a car.
In a car? In my mom's car?
In my mom's
Was it
car.
your mom's car?
No. I did it in a little roller. I said vroom vroom.
Rolla, rolla.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like with women too, I feel like it's even more complicated. Like, it's not like so straightforward with like gay men, but like sometimes you'll have like a masculine woman that likes other masculine women, but typically it's like masculine woman with a feminine woman. And so I'm not as attracted to masculine women as I am feminine women. And so I'd have a lot of like really masculine women hit on me, and I'm like, you seem great.
And
You seem great. I'm just not for it.
Yeah, and like for me, it's like I feel bad because like when the feminine guys do hit on me, and I tell them like, hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're not really my type, whatever. They kind of make it seem as if I'm the bad guy for that.
Yeah, it comes off as rude. Like, there's not a proper way to tell someone like you're not my type without them like taking it the wrong way. But you don't.
And I mean,
really
I
lead them
understand
on.
where they're coming from, because it's like whenever guys tell me the same thing, I'm like, but I'm not feminine and I'm not masculine. I'm just me. Why is that not good enough? And I'm just like,
Yeah.
but then again, looking back, I've done the same things to others.
I think you just have to learn to brush it off.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier with the whole self-esteem part.
Yeah. Having self-esteem to just not care anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, that takes time. God damn.
Man.
Why don't you give me some some
Every guest that you have on this episode, you have to give them something that's going to make them burp. And this has to be a daily segment.
Why is that like that? Listen.
Perry. Perry the platypus.
Perry the platypus. Perry the platypus. Okay. How do you feel? Okay, how do you feel about being homo, a homosexual, a gay, a lesbian?
I feel like I've come to terms with it now. Like, now I feel like I go about my life without even remembering that that's like an aspect of myself.
Yeah.
Like, I just do me, and then like it'll randomly hit me like, oh, this is what I'm doing right now. This is gay.
This is gay, bro. It's kind of sus.
I'm sus right now, you know? And, but I feel like at first it was kind of like, I didn't want to be gay. I wanted to be anything but gay, but that just really, I couldn't. I tried, and it just didn't really work for me. I feel like your burps have just gone downhill the entire episode.
Okay.
You're welcome.
You get a coat.
Give that one a 0.5.
Okay. I mean, like, for me, it's done just... It's really how I feel like I sound on this video right now.
That's how people around here sound for sure.
I mean, I know I have a southern accent, but I thank the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, Heavenly Father above, I don't sound like this. Because if I did, I'd kill myself.
I feel like you just demonstrated like two different southern accents.
I feel like I did also.
You went from like a white man to like a black grandma.
Baby.
There you go.
Baby. Okay. Okay, so like as far as me, kind of like what you just said about how do I feel about being gay, I mean, it is kind of like, I'm chill with it now. It's whatever.
Yeah. There's nothing you can do about it,
I'm
really.
homo.
I don't feel like there's one gay person that is just like at first just been like, okay, great,
Yeah.
you're gay.
Yeah.
But you just have to live with it.
Because, I mean, at first, like I said, I was a hoe. I was like, I'm going to date me a woman. I'm going to do the nasty with a woman just because I ain't trying to be a homo. And, I mean, that kind of played and I'm going back to the whole self-esteem part. That played a huge factor in it because it was like,
Yeah.
I am trying not to be. I am trying hard to be like, live this life that my parents would want. Live this life that's pleasing to society and everything.
Yeah.
But no matter what I do, I still find men attractive.
Yeah. And
I
like,
still feel like my puzzle pieces are not fitting together and I'm just trying to just do whatever.
yeah. For me, I've always been like, if I meet a guy and I love him, that is what it is. But like, even if I marry a man, if I'm dating a man, I'm still going to find women attractive. I'm still going to really like women in that way, no
and
matter
I don't
what.
feel like, I feel as if even if I was in the same situation, because I mean, you know, I find some women snackalicious, like Zendaya, baby, she one of them, looking like.
Who don't like Zendaya?
I agree.
Who don't?
Zendaya. And Normani get one too.
Ooh, yeah.
Doja Cat can get it too.
Doja Cat could always get it.
Oh, look, brain dead. What's the other one? That
Kalani.
Oh my God, Kalani, yes, baby.
Yes, we love a tattooed woman.
Oh
Turtles.
She really gets me queefing.
What was somebody showed us a video the other day, and it was of turtles doing the do, but it was like a deep sound. Like, it was like, ugh.
Thanks, Sam. Oh. Wait, because he was up here also.
What if like a guy makes those sounds? What are you gonna do?
I'd be like, oh yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll probably join him and be like,
No. If I have to hear that from the other room, I'm leaving. I am Landlord, can I get out of the lease? No.
Submit to Pornhub.
I feel like it would actually get thousands of views
Probably.
from like the furries or the people that like are into animals.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, I like it. It's animal sounds.
Okay.
yeah.
So like, with that being said, do you feel like it was a choice?
I feel like we kind of already covered that because like we didn't want to be gay.
Yeah, no.
I mean, like, of course you could choose to live a straight life, but you're not going to be
that's
happy.
the choice.
Yeah, you're choosing to be happy, and you're choosing to be yourself.
Yeah, because I feel like it. especially like what was said earlier, I did try
Yeah.
to live that life, that straight life
Mm-hmm.
that made people happy, that made, you know, like, oh, this is a normal male.
Yeah.
And I mean, which sucks because, you know, a straight male is the norm for
Yeah.
everything.
But I feel like at the end of the day, no matter who you are, like straight, gay, anything else, I'm trying to hide the burps. Anything else, I feel like, you know, you're not really living until you're living to be
Yeah.
yourself. You're not going to be happy until you're actively trying to be happy and actively being yourself. So, like, yeah, you could choose to basically live a lie and be unhappy, but, like, it's just not going to fulfill you.
Yeah.
It's pointless.
No, and I get that because, like, growing up, I mean, especially living, like, in a Christian household and everything, and just having parents that never see eye to eye to you when it comes to that.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, it sucked because I knew it wasn't a choice.
Yeah.
I never asked for it. I mean, and it led to depression and anxiety and self-harm and other things like that. And I mean, it was like, I feel as if when it comes down to people and them saying that it's a choice, I wish they can just live maybe a week in our shoes.
Yeah, I mean, and also just like on the flip side, I feel like it's not a choice because I've had like straight friends that have been like straight female friends that would be like, oh my god, I wish I wasn't lesbian, because like men aggravate them, but like they aren't. They don't like women that way. So just in the same way that like if you're straight, you just can't make yourself like women. You just can't make yourself like the same sex. Like it's not gonna happen for gay people. You just something in your body just doesn't click when it comes to liking the opposite sex. It's just not the same.
And I mean, when it comes down to just being gay in general, it's not a very pretty life to live. Just simply because you are looked down on. You are, especially being a male. I mean, you do kind of play in that factor of being the man of the house, doing this, doing that. Don't show weakness and whatever. But
and I think that particularly is getting better, like as time goes on in our society.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed a lot of the like younger generation, like the kids that are like 18 coming to college, like the guys are dressing more feminine and they're straight. Like they wear nail polish, they put on a little bit of makeup, and they're still totally straight.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're even looked down on in some aspects, but I feel like as a society that's getting better. We're now trying to teach boys how to be good people and not just how to be men.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just something that we have to work on.
Cause I mean, baby, I like makeup. I like, you know, I feel like anybody could just like, okay, let me make myself look a little better.
Yeah. But like those aspects shouldn't have to be something that's attributed to being a gay man.
Yeah.
Like yes, you are a gay man, but that shouldn't have to be something
and I feel
that's
like,
gay.
Even with like what you just said, I feel like it also shouldn't just be things that women do.
Yeah. Like men should be able to do any of that and still be masculine and still be a man and still, you know, like there shouldn't be a problem with that.
Yeah, because I mean, I follow a few people like on Instagram, whatever, and they, you know, they do the makeup and everything completely straight. Wish they were not, because some of them be looking nice. Yeah. But I mean, they are. You can like you read through their comments, you know, like someone like ew, disgusting, less of a man, whatever, just.
But that's just like, that's a social construct.
Yeah.
You know, our society negotiates its meaning, and our society has told us this is what a man is and this is what a woman is.
Even like when it comes down to the fashion industry, I mean, take people like Harry Styles, Jaden Smith, whatever, and I mean they're starting to push more so on. You're still a man, but you know you can look a little bit more feminine. You can, if you want to wear a dress or a skirt, paint your nails, makeup, etc., etc. Do it.
And Jaden's straight, isn't he?
No, Jaden is.
Like all the way?
I think so.
Cause like Harry Styles is bi.
I think he's dating Tyler the Creator.
Isn't he like so much older than him?
I don't know. Not my business.
Yeah. When Harry Styles is dating what, like Olivia Wilde? She's a lot older than him. I'm for it.
Period.
Why not? And he's gonna be Thanos' brother, and the new Marvel movies. Oh yeah.
I mean, I can get it. But okay, besides the point.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like our society has had this one meaning for the longest time about things like this, and we're finally starting to change it.
Okay. Well, I think we kind of already covered this, but I was going to ask you, like, how has it impacted the way that you see others?
I honestly feel like I wouldn't be as open-minded if I was straight. I feel
Yeah.
like being gay has caused me to, kind of explore the gay community and learn more about the gay community, like as far as like trans people or non-binary people or other people that aren't just gay, bi, or lesbian.
I want to say the same thing, but it's also impacted me as far as like when it comes down to people from different cultures.
Yeah,
Even like cultures, races, etc.,
Yeah.
because it's like you're also looked down on to a certain extent by society, the same way that I am. Let me.
Yeah.
So why should I look down on you?
Mhm. I feel like I've always been a very open-minded person, even when I was a kid. But I feel like there were times, like growing up, that I noticed like I was beginning to be closed-minded, like the other people around me.
Yeah.
And then, I feel like if I didn't go through what I went through as far as like finding myself and my sexuality, I wouldn't have been as open to other people, like just any kinds of people. I personally love learning about different cultures, different sexualities, different, like anything that's different.
Yeah.
I find difference beautiful, and I feel like, if I wasn't gay, I wouldn't have been as open to that.
So I see where you're coming from, but at the same time, it's kind of like, especially living where we're living,
Mm-hmm.
that's all we're surrounded by, though.
Yeah,
It's just closed-minded people.
there's a lot of just the same thing. I mean, I feel like even other places up north, like, there's just a specific, like, colony of people,
Mhm.
and people just, they don't often move. They stay in the same place. So it's the same people just made over and over again. And unless you live in a really large city where people come in and out of all the time, you're just stuck with the same old, same old.
I mean, that's been a one plus, like, with us living here in, like, a college town.
Mm-hmm.
We do have a constant flow of different backgrounds.
Yeah, like, in college, I don't think out of my 3 semesters so far at the college I'm at right now that I've had one professor that was from Mississippi.
Yeah.
They've all been from either different countries or different states, and they all come from different places. I mean, I feel like that's the same for any colleges, just college in general. Like, you get exposed to a lot of different people.
Yeah. Mississippi just sucks.
I think it's getting better. I don't know. I feel like the problem in Mississippi is like a lot of people that were gay felt like they had to move, and so they left.
Yeah.
And so that's why we don't have a lot of gays here, because we all feel the need of, oh, we don't belong here.
I will say
Let's
this
leave.
also, just with this being Mississippi, I feel as if it's a lot of just the people that have been here,
They're never leaving.
they're never leaving.
Yeah.
So it's just the same cycle over and over and over again, because it's like, okay, this person has a child and they teach their child the same thing that they
Yeah.
felt, and it's just et cetera, and just keeps going and going.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's a really good gay community here in the town that we're in now, and that's different compared to the rest of Mississippi. But I feel like a lot of the gay people, or anyone who's really just different, ends up moving away, and so we don't get that difference here. And if we stay and try,
Yeah.
we might could open some minds. Who knows?
I am so lonely too, because I don't know if I want to stay.
No, I don't know if I do either. I like it so far.
So, what advice would you give to others that haven't come to terms with their sexuality?
I mean, I feel like I'd give the same advice to anyone that's just coming to terms with themselves, in any aspect. Just don't care what other people think. Like, at the end of the day, we're always going to care what people think in some aspect, but it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to learn to love yourself. Just love yourself, and then, everything else will seem kind of small.
To me, I also feel as if when it comes to people and their sexuality, take as long as you want.
Yeah, don't feel like you need to rush it. I feel like a lot of gay kids especially feel like they have to automatically know who they are.
Yeah.
And I mean, sexuality is a complicated thing. Even like identity is complicated.
And with that being said, I'm not a big fan of labels.
Yeah.
I kind of feel as if, why do you need to label that you're gay, you're bi, you're pan, you're asexual, etc., etc.? Just be you.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get like wanting to label it because then, you know, you fit in a certain box and you can find other people like you easier, but don't feel pressured. Like, if you don't want to label,
my whole thing is this. When it comes down to the straights, they don't put them, they never had to put themselves in a box. It was always just, you know, you're hetero, you're the basic norm, you're whatever, you're the default. Yeah. But to me, I'm like, I feel as if we constantly keep putting labels on and falling to certain boxes and whatever, nothing's ever going to change.
Yeah, and honestly, if we had a world where just it didn't matter who you are, like even like sexuality aside, just like even like your race and things like that, we'd have less problems. I mean, it's always going to be there. There's always going to be different people, but we often define it as something like this person's different than us. This person fits into a different box. Oh, we don't like them. It shouldn't matter.
No, I mean, being outed the way I was, I mean, looking back, I am glad that it did happen. Mm-hmm. It did suck at the time, but it did make me, you know, hey, you're gay.
Yeah.
Just put yourself out there now.
Yeah.
People
have to deal with it.
You have to deal with it.
Full-fledged.
But I never came to terms like, hey, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to put myself out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, even doing this here, I mean, it's kind of like I am putting a lot of myself out there that I'm afraid. I mean, I'm afraid that one day family's going to see this, or parents or whatever, and then they're going to see the real me, not just this mask that I wear around them.
Yeah.
And I mean, my advice that I would give to somebody that's going through the same thing is, no matter what your background may be, no matter your age, ethnicity, etc., just live life for yourself. And as far as sexuality, do it at your own time, your own terms. Just be you. Because I mean, nothing's gonna change. Going back to what we talked about earlier, if you're gay, you are gay. If you're bi, you're bi. Just be you, baby.
Especially for like young little baby gays, like don't feel pressured to like go straight out there and get like a boyfriend, get a girlfriend. Like
no, because like back when I was in high school and junior high, whatever, it was like I'm gay, but I don't want people to know that I'm gay.
Yeah.
And I was constantly just like looking over my shoulders of like, who's gonna find out? Who's like, are my parents gonna know? Or like are my friends gonna leave me once they find out, etc., etc. And it was kind of like, oh my God, what do I do now?
Yeah. Because
I'm trying to live this life that's not me.
Yeah. Do you wish you would have like cared less?
Oh, by all means, yes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, now looking back, it's like those people never mattered.
Yeah.
They don't. I mean, you're living your life those 4 years.
Yeah.
Junior high, 6 years. And heck, looking back, I don't talk to any of them.
I feel like always look forward, because people you have in your circle now aren't always going to be there.
Yeah.
That's not promised.
Because like looking now, it's like I have my circle. The friends I have now, these are the people that's going to be around for the rest of my life.
Yeah. When you find your people, you know you're going to find your people. I feel like in high school especially, it's like there's so much drama going on and it's just not even worth it.
You have a major milestone once you graduate.
Oh,
people are all going off to college, etc., and these aren't going to be the people that's in your corner. You may have one, like childhood best friend, maybe be in your corner for the rest of your life, possibly not. That's not a guaranteed thing, but the circle that you have now that you think is like your group, your circle, whatever, those more than likely aren't going to be the people that's going to be your true circle.
Yeah, and circles change, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I feel like I have some friends from when I was younger that like I still love them. It's just like we've just branched off. There's nothing wrong with that. But like, just don't care what people think. I promise anyone, if you just be yourself, you're gonna find people that like you. You don't have to feel like you have to conform to any kind of social norm. Just be yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, baby, just be you.
Be you.
Live your life as you see fit.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, being younger and gay, the homo.
The alphabet mafia.
Oh my god. You do feel like there's this pressure on you to try to fit in.
Oh yeah. Because I feel like being young, you're trying to find yourself, and you know you do that by trying to like attach yourself to different little boxes and try to just
by all
be
means.
someone else.
Because like with me, I remember being younger, I always tried to fit in whatever little box came my way.
Yeah.
Even when I knew it was not me.
Yeah. Just try it just cause. I mean, you gotta figure it out somehow.
And looking back, I mean, I wish that I did just kind of keep to myself and kind of just really learn who I was. Because I mean, I didn't really know who I was maybe until like a year or two ago.
And I remember being young and crying over friends that like I don't even think about now.
Yeah, same.
Like,
Same.
cause like that's who I had back then. But like you grow
See, because
old.
someone like one of my best friends in high school, like super close. I'd see her all the time.
Yeah.
We don't even talk now.
Yeah.
And that goes for a good bit of the people that I was like super close with.
Mm-hmm.
That I thought like, oh my god, this is my ride or die. This is my person.
Yeah.
Don't even talk to him.
Well, as you grow older, you realize that like you have your friends that you're friends with because you see each other all the time and because you have like a mutual activity like school, and then you have your friends that like you don't see all the time but you make an effort to see, and those are the people that's gonna stick by you.
Yeah. Oh, I like the way you put that. It was kind of like, oh.
There's a professional term for it I learned, but I can't think of it right now.
The communications major.
In the communications major. I'm doing so well because I can't remember
You love
what
it.
it's called.
And I really think that's kind of like everything that I really wanted to cover on this. Is there anything that you want to end it with?
Yeah, I think we've pretty much said what we need to say. Just, you know, overall, just be you.
Be you, be yourself. And I guess that's it for this. So, like, let's just call this quits. So, like, period. Like,
hit subscribe and like and rate the podcast, do all the things.
comment, hoes, and other
Comment.
etc.
Yes.
Yes. Period.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.